Hey guys, SimIsDim here, back with another review. This time I'm reviewing the Specna Arms SA-H08. Now it's essentially a HK416. It's one of the variants. Now I'm going to go over the following things. I'm going to go over some of the features, what you get in the box. I'm also going to do a chrono test and a range test and give you my thoughts on it. Now myself and my buddy Septic Airsoft, we are reviewing a bunch of the Specna guns for our sponsor Mad Dog. So I'd just like to say thanks to Mad Dog for giving us this opportunity. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review. So here's just a quick picture I snapped of what you get in the box. You get the gun itself, you get a mock suppressor, a high capacity magazine, a winder for it, a bunch of stickers, a low powered spring. Now you get a low powered spring because this gun is actually made for Europe and you get the European standard spring in there. You also get a certificate of quality control in the box, which is nice because you don't see that often, and you get a Specna Arms lanyard and their brochure. Now we just move on to some of the features I found quite interesting about the SA-H08 when I opened the box. First up we have the mock suppressor. Now I haven't seen this included on many guns, but I think that's a nice feature. Also I like the fact that the flash hider that comes with it as well has threading on, so potentially you could put some more mock suppressors on there, which is a nice touch. Then moving on as well, we'll go to the charging handle. Now the charging handle actually does work. When you pop the charging handle back, it opens up the door to your hop, which reveals a metal hop up as well. And to make it go back, you actually have to press the bolt release, which again is a nice touch. Now moving on to the internals very quickly. This gearbox is a quick change spring gearbox. Now what that means, as you can see on the picture here, once you get to the gearbox you don't have to split it and take everything out to change the spring. It's just a quick turn at the back of the gearbox and then the spring comes out with the spring guide and then you replace your spring. And finally, the sights you get on the gun. They're Knights Armament clone sights, which are actually really nice. They're actually really easy to flip up and they're easy to aim down as well, and you can also aim with two eyes open instead of having to squint. Now these are just some of the features that I liked from getting the gun out of the box, and now we're going to move on to the chrono test. Now for this chrono test we're using 0.20 gram BBs in the Specna. It's using a 7.4 LiPo battery and with the European spring in, and this is how it was. So first shot with the HK416 clone.
423, 423, 424. That was the chrono, misread. 423, 422, 425, 427, 422 last shot, 423.
As you can see, very consistent out of the box with a total variance of 5 FPS. And now we move on to the range test. Again I'm using 0.20 gram BBs and I'm standing about 30 meters away. As you can hear, the wind is blowing quite heavily on my GoPro. There was actually quite a strong wind during the day, so the gun performed fairly accurately. I then back up slightly just to get a little bit of extra range. As you can see, even on a quite windy day with 0.20 gram BBs, the gun is rather accurate, so I was quite impressed with the range test. Now let's move on to my final thoughts. Now my final thoughts about this riff. Very impressed out of the box. It's a full metal gun and it really felt like a solid build as well. Now I've never actually used or even held a Specna Arms gun, so this was my first actual impression of any of their riffs and the build quality on any of them, and I was genuinely surprised. It's also very ergonomic, which made it very easy to shoulder and point and I really liked the front rail system as well. Had some really nice positioned QD sling points, and it was very easy to C-clamp. I am unfortunately one of those people that likes to C-clamp my weapons because it makes it very comfortable. But that again was another great feature of the gun, being so ergonomic. I will mention as well, I was surprised on the following things. I was very surprised that the bolt catch actually worked and held open, and also when it revealed a metal hop chamber, I wasn't expecting that either. Now the gun isn't without its fault. Although I said it's full metal construction, which I did like, there were a few things that I didn't. Now I'll just briefly touch on them, so then we can wrap the video up. The stock was nice, however, it was quite roughly finished and abrasive, so that wasn't very comfortable to rest my cheek on. Also as well, probably the biggest problem I had was the included high capacity magazine that you got with the gun. It is a high cap mag, but it doesn't have a winding wheel at the bottom. You actually have to use the wind up key, which in a sticky situation in the middle of a skirmish is probably going to send you back to the respawn area. Now finally, let's go over the pros and cons quickly, and then I'll give it my P rating. So the pros are as follows. Full metal construction, very happy with that, it's a very solid build. Metal hop-up chamber, wasn't expecting it, it's a nice addition. The extra spring is again also nice because you have the option to DMR it if you want with the higher spring. Very consistent out of the box and quite accurate too, even in windy conditions with light BBs. Also, the price point on this is a sub £250 gun, which for the build, the extras you get, and just overall quality is very worth the money. However, as everything, nothing is perfect, so let's go over the cons quickly. There wasn't very many cons, but I will say the following. The included high capacity magazine not having a winder was a very big con for me because it makes it very difficult to get your BBs to feed through the gun in a firefight. And as well, where I said the gun was excellent quality on the metal parts, the stock however wasn't. It was very abrasive and it did actually cut my hand, so that is a definite con for me. And just quickly again, finally touching on the magazine, I did try other magazines with this. They fit very nicely. However, the included HK416 style magazine was very tight and you kind of had to shove it. So that again is another con for me. And finally, let's get on to the P rating. I know that's why everyone's actually here, but yeah, out of a 10 I'm going to give this a solid 8 pews. And the reason for this, again, value out of the box, build quality, and the range. Absolutely fantastic. I would definitely recommend this gun if you're not looking for something that breaks the bank. Also, if you don't want anything that has recoil and you just want something that looks like a really decent quality 416, you can't go wrong with this. But that's going to wrap up this review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I always try really hard to bring you the best review content I can bring out, and I'm also always going to give you my most honest opinion on riffs, gear, sights, anything like that. So again, let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you to my sponsor, Mad Dog Airsoft, for making this possible. And as always, guys, have a good one.